This is awesome.
Oh, fuck. Hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, I'm Brian, here as always with Zach, and this is The Talent Mix. It's a Smallville rewatch podcast that comes up on the search results right beneath the Smallville rewatch podcast you were probably actually looking for.
Thanks, Pete.
You know what? I gotta say, I am happy to be right underneath Talkville.
For sure.
Would I love to be right
great.
above? Would it be really funny if we got above it? Yes. That'd be hilarious.
You know what? I think it's a good double feature. Listen to Talkville for like the straight version.
Yeah.
And then like cool down with a little Brian Zach for the like let's really dig into this.
There you go. I think that's a great one too. That said, I did notice something. I did a little search bar experimenting, and if you search Smallville on Apple Podcasts, we do not come up on the first page at all. So
We need to work on that.
I'm hoping everyone can actually help us out with that. If you could head to Apple Podcasts, give us a rating, leave us a review. It doesn't even have to be a nice one. It can just be these two chuckle fucks talk about fucking Mission Impossible for 20 minutes. If you're live streaming right now with us, if you're watching the VOD, if you're listening to us wherever you get your podcasts, do it right now. Just do it now. That'd be really nice. You can go to talonmix.show. Once again, that's talonmix.show. There is an easy link right there to our Apple Podcast page. That'd be a really nice thing that you could do. And also, once we get to 25, just 25, we'll watch the very bad Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, which neither of us have seen.
Looking forward to
But
it.
I know Superman fights a guy on the moon and maybe stops World War III.
I'm telling you right now, I fully expect it not to be good, but for me to enjoy it more than I enjoyed the most recent Doctor Strange movie.
So much that, like, it's not the worst Marvel movie ever made, but it's the one that truly broke me.
Yes, exactly. Yes, same. Yes. I was like, I think I'm good. I think I will get off here.
Right.
I think I'm getting off halfway through this movie.
Don't get me wrong. I've been off since before Endgame. Endgame came out and I had a good time at Endgame. But like I've been chilling on the exit ramp for a while. Just occasionally like, what if we went for a little while longer? And now I'm like, it's Thor. I'm not going to see it. I'm probably Blade's going to rope me back in is the thing. Blade's going to be the one I'm going to want to see.
Look, if one of these movies starts getting like reviews that I'm not saying like
they all get okay reviews is the thing.
But I mean, I can read between the lines
Sure.
of the blurbs. If I start hearing, when I say reviews, I mean from people I know, like, oh, this is different. This is really interesting. Then maybe I'll go check it out. Or when they bring the X-Men,
or when the X-Men. I'll also say, I have had fun with all the Spider-Mans.
Yes,
I'll fuck
too.
with a Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's like a Sony Marvel team up.
That one's a little dicey anyway. So whether or not it counts. Zach, have you been watching anything this week?
Probably shouldn't cover my mouth for a podcast.
Yeah, that's generally not a good idea.
I'm just trying to get that Talkville mojo going. I watched a movie called 3 O'Clock High. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It is a cult comedy from the 80s. It's like a teen. It's like very John Hughes-esque. It's really bizarre. I enjoyed it. It's worth watching just for the sheer, like, what the hell is this?
Huh.
It's basically High Noon, but in a high school. So it's
weird.
A kid who pisses off a crazy new bully in the school, and the bully's like, we're going to fight after school at 3 o'clock. And the kid spends the day trying to get out of it. And
that's fun.
Oh yeah, it's a really fun concept, and it's a fun movie, but it's bizarre. I mean, the directions they take it's bizarre, but I recommend it. I think you might appreciate it.
Did you say the year?
87. I
Okay.
think.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going
It's
to
a
check
good.
that out.
I think it's a good Brian Emily. Let's watch this.
Okay.
And
I'm going to check that out. So have you checked out The Rehearsal?
I have not. No. Is this the Nathan? What's his name?
This is the Nathan Fielder's new show, which Nathan, of course, of Nathan For You, who this is his big budget kind of new HBO Max show that is kind of getting some conversations going about maybe what's okay and what isn't. And I'll say,
good. I mean, that's great. I love that.
know
Come on.
I think it's probably one of the most fascinating and exciting like shows I've seen in a bit.
I have never seen Nathan For You. Someone told me about this at work. It sounds like it would be right up my alley. So
yeah, it's so it starts with kind of like this premise of Nathan Fielder is going to stage these very elaborate rehearsals for people to practice through weird life things, telling a friend about a thing you lied about, or like confrontations, and like giving them the opportunity to very, very down like grain rehearse. And it starts off like that, and I kind of think it's going to be like a Nathan For You, where each one is going to be a new situation like that, but kind of self-contained. First episode, pretty cut and dry. Second episode builds on that and like creates these new layers and complications. The third episode creates even more layers and complications, to the point where you're kind of watching it, even questioning what's actually real.
great.
It's one of the most exciting shows I think I've seen in a while, and I'm very, very excited to see where it goes.
Well, I'll have to put it on the list behind every other show that is
I know.
on my list.
Let's see. Do we have anything else to go over? Anything else you watched? Anything else that was fun?
I started Return of the Jedi. I haven't finished it yet. Not because it's bad, but because I keep starting it late at night and then just being like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed.
But also something like Return of the Jedi that, you've seen a billion times. I don't,
Right, yes.
I don't think you're going to get anything new from Return of the Jedi.
No.
It's okay to watch it in chunks.
Well, the best I can do is like channel the vibes I felt when I was 10 years old somehow, if by rewatching it. I've been able to do it. I can't sustain it for more than like 3 seconds, but I'm like, oh, I just got a vibe from when I was 10. Put it in a bottle. I wish I could just save that up.
My Return of the Jedi, like the thing that always brings me back is being at a sleepover in my friend Jonathan Russo's basement. His dad on the couch behind us reading us the Jabba the Hutt subtitles.
That's important.
Very important. I remember watching Return of the Jedi as a kid. I'm wondering if maybe I saw that first. It's the only one I have memory watching as a kid.
I mean, I think it's a common one for a kid to see first because it's got the Ewoks.
Right.
It's a little lighter. Like Star Wars obviously is not a boring movie, but to a kid, I can see how that's a little slower than Return of the Jedi because there's more like, oh, look at that weird creature. Look at that,
Yeah. And it's just, I know, I remember my mom saying she was going to show them to us. I don't remember seeing them for the first time. They've just sort of always lived in my brain.
Yeah.
But I remember Return of the Jedi. Should we get into Smallville?
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
It's a big episode full of bad boys. It's the big bad boy event.
Oh, Brian, this episode is lousy with like C-list teen beefcakes. Like early 20s teeny bopper beefcakes.
The state of Arizona says it's a yikes episode. Not as bad as you might think. I could see this episode come out today. There's some weird there is a weird implication in the third act, but I think it's okay. Draz in the chat says, bad boys, bad optics. So, we watched Asylum. It's the 9th episode in the 3rd season of Smallville and the 53rd episode overall. It aired January 14th, 2004. We've done it. We've hit a new year.
2004, the year I graduated.
Wow. I'm a sophomore. We've established this before. I think I'm a sophomore.
Yeah, I think you're a sophomore.
Point.
Yeah.
I had a good 2004. My freshman year of high school was like really rough. Of like I kind of just didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know how to. It was a desperate, sad, skinny boy. Just be like, will you be my friend?
Yeah, we were all there.
Yeah.
For me, I had a great freshman year, and then sophomore year sucked, and then I bounced back junior year.
Sophomore year is where I met people who I'm still friends with, like today.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, all right, getting into it. It's been a whole month since Lex was committed at Belle Reve Sanitarium. Clark is finally allowed to visit him. On his way in, we get a just shot after shot of bad boys from previously on the show. We get Van McNulty, the
hate crime extraordinaire.
Hate crime extraordinaire. We get
Or as he's referred in this episode, Ku Klux Van.
Wah wah wee wah.
Did you miss that?
I missed that.
Oh, JTT calls him that. Hey, Ku Klux Van.
What the fuck? Chat is going all caps. We got a hold on from Arizona. Wait a minute. Draz has and
Arizona, I wish I could get you a clip, but I, alas, am a Luddite and do not know how to do such things. But I'm sure you can find it online. It's a scene with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and the guy from John Tucker Must Die. So Brian, I have so many let's just start right now. I have so many questions about this hospital. Mm-hmm. First of all, this sanitarium is at max capacity.
Where is this in Metropolis? Is this in Smallville?
I think it's Metropolis, and it's Belle Reve. I think that's from the comics.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's like a supermarket on Christmas Eve. It is fucking jam-packed with people. There's so many extras in this. It's insane.
Arizona asks a great question in chat. Do we think they get more or less funding than Smallville Medical?
I mean, the lighting is worse. So this sanitarium is clearly an office building, right? Like a fancy office building. Like it's a sanitarium, but for some reason it's made up completely of like hard edges and glass. It is the least sanitarium looking place I've ever seen.
Just a fucking danger zone.
Oh man, it's out of control.
It's also clearly what we're going for here is an Arkham Asylum like thing.
Right.
And it's already beginning to seed Gao and Millar just being like, can we do Batman, please? We wish we were doing Batman. Because that's what they originally wanted to do, right? Superman came when they couldn't get Batman.
Yeah, well, they wrote a pilot for a young Bruce Wayne show, and in it he meets Superman, and somehow that led to Smallville. I think that's right. I think that did not get optioned.
I had always heard there was something about like Warner Brothers not wanting to fuck around with the movies.
Yeah, because Batman was, still Batman and Robin still made a decent amount of money, even though it was awful.
Right. So just to be clear, in the sanitarium, in the asylum, we have Van McNulty. He was the hate crime extraordinaire. We have Eric Summers. Eric Summers is the boy who switched powers with Clark.
They wouldn't know this because it is from the Too Hot for Television season 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
That we recorded that they do not get to hear. Yes. So he got struck by lightning and Clark was holding on to him, and they he got powers, and Clark just became a real boy.
Right.
For an episode, and then it went back at the end. He's played by the guy from X-Men who plays Iceman, right?
Right. Or his brother.
No, his brother he plays Jimmy Olsen in this show later.
But I don't know if the brother is Iceman. I don't know which brother is which, but I know that
I'm pretty sure this is the X-Men guy.
Got it. Was one brother more successful than the other? Or were there just two identical looking boys?
What is more successful in your mind, Brian? Appearing in the X-Men trilogy, which was very successful.
Yes.
The original 3, and then having 2 bit parts on Smallville, or appearing in a major role for like 3 seasons or 4 seasons of Smallville.
I think it's pretty even.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah. Which was the one who was on the Nickelodeon series Animorphs?
No idea.
I also don't know either of their names. So.
There was a show, Animorphs. I knew there was the book. I know the book.
Yes, there was a very brief Nickelodeon live action Animorphs show that Brian thought was the coolest.
I feel like we've talked about Animorphs before.
We have, because it's crazy,
show.
and I could talk about Animorphs forever. When we finish recording, I'm gonna play the theme song for Animorphs because it is a fucking banger.
I recently got Paramount Plus, or like for a short time, and they have all the Nickelodeon shit on there.
Yeah.
And I watched old episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yup.
Fucking holds up, bro.
Fucking
Are You
frequently
Afraid of the
very
Dark?
good. You know what I want? You know what I'm sort of obsessed with Pluto TV right now. Which is like the Paramount's like fully free one.
Yes.
That also just has like these linear channels. It's great for like, I just want something on, but like I literally don't care what. And like you can just surf through and like, oh look, they're halfway through an episode of fucking Deal or No Deal. Sure.
Sweet. Okay.
It's basically essentially free cable. You don't even need to make an account. You can just type in Pluto TV on your fucking television or on your browser, and it'll just start right up. It's great. I love it.
Future is now.
But they have a Nickelodeon channel where they play like, generally broad I just want a linear 90s 2000s Nickelodeon channel.
I mean, if cable was still a big thing, they would have that, because when we were in the 90s, they had a channel for stuff from like the 70s.
Right. So give me that. Give me just something that I can just and like hit shuffle. I don't, because that's the thing. I don't always know. I don't want to pick an episode of Hey Arnold.
Yes, exactly. Picking the episodes requires so much room in your brain. Right. It's like, I don't want to pick.
Right.
I want you to pick. Did you ever watch? You're probably just barely too young for Pete and Pete, the show Pete and Pete.
Pete and Pete ran in reruns.
Pete and Pete actually holds up, Brian. It's actually a legit show.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
The Halloween episode is really, really fun.
Yes.
It's every now and again, like I see a Pete and Pete, I'm like, this is phenomenal.
Yes, way ahead of its time.
I saw Polaris in the fictional band that does the intro in concert once, and they ruled.
It's a fictional band?
They are quote unquote fictional. They were put together to do that. They were all musicians, and they got together to do that theme song.
Sweet. All right.
But yeah, they did a bunch of stuff, and that was probably 10 years ago now. I saw them, but they were a lot of fun. I also the titular Pete's and Pete's did an episode of the Chris Gethard Show a long time ago, so I got to meet them.
Oh, sweet!
And they were super nice guys, really fun.
Awesome. That makes me happy that they were nice guys.
Yes, super
I would
good
be
guys.
Heartbroken if Pete were jackasses.
Super, super nice guys. Okay, so Lex has not been taking his medication, and he has not forgotten what he saw Clark do. He asks Clark to break him out. When Clark refuses, Lex grabs him by the throat and screams at him. We're getting a more inkling here of like what Lex's reaction might be if he knew Clark's secret.
Right, and I feel like you owe Lex an apology by the end of the episode. Not at this moment. At this moment, it's a little sketchy, but by the end of the episode, I feel like you owe him an apology. And maybe me?
I don't know.
Maybe you owe me an apology too?
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I'll let you present your case, but I don't know if I agree with that.
So when we first see Lex, he is in like the first he gets his pills, but then he's in the rec area next to 30 other people because it's so fucking crowded. They are understaffed, Brian. There's 2 orderlies and like 300 patients. It's dire. It's dire.
Extremely not good.
So Lex is painting when we see him. What is he painting? It looked like he was painting the Death Star exploding.
I also just feel like, do you think they just like set up an easel and told Michael, just paint something crazy. Just do a crazy paint.
Yeah, right. No way he painted it. There's no way. I mean, we'll have to wait. They get to season 3. Right. They're way behind us. Until they get there.
We'll find out.
If their show's still around by then.
We'll see. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Me too. Me too.
There are insights that are... I like the show Smallville, and I'm enjoying the insights about the show that I like.
They stole the yikes thing from us last week.
Yeah, we logged that.
What's fun is they picked the same yikes we picked, I remember, when we did that episode, which was Chloe, the Allison Mack, as Chloe makes a joke about Clark joining a cult. And I appreciate them flagging it because they could have ignored it, but they didn't.
Right. Okay, so Lex is asking Clark to break him out. When Clark refuses, Lex grabs him by the throat and screams at him. The guards move in quickly to restrain him. The next morning, Lex attempts to escape. He stabs a guard in the leg with a pencil. He takes his ID badge and lets himself out. He makes it to halfway up a chain link fence with a barbed wire before guards use a taser to subdue him.
So, very Sarah Connor escaped from the sanitarium. But my favorite part is Lex's cell, which is like a room with a glass wall. And for some reason, the bed in the cell is just a slab of metal. There's no cushion on it. This is like some dystopian THX bullshit.
We've gone from padded cell
to just hard metal edges.
They lost their padded cell funding, you see.
Like the patient's not sleeping. I wonder why he's sleeping on hard metal.
Electric Gauntlet says they got the Man of Steel confused. Waka waka.
Hey,
Okay, at the Kent farm, Clark tells his parents about his encounter with Lex. Clark is sure he was drugged, but Martha points out this isn't Lex's first brush with mental illness. Jonathan is worried about Clark getting caught if he tries to break out Lex, and he worries about Lex knowing Clark's secret. Martha tries to encourage Clark to visit Lana, but he's trying to respect her request to stay away. I forgot about that story. Lana had previously asked Clark, or told Clark, like, hey, maybe actually you are dangerous to be around.
Right, because she got trampled by the horse.
Right.
So let's just, in case people forgot, because we've talked about Ninja Turtles between episodes, the situation is this. Lex's father was drugging him in secret, slowly driving him insane, because Lex found out that Lionel killed his own parents.
Right.
So when he's going insane, he happens to see Clark's powers because Clark saves him.
Right.
So he knows Clark's secret, but he's in the sanitarium. Everyone thinks he's insane, except for Clark knows he's not. He knows he's not. Lionel knows he's not. So Clark is in this conundrum of, I can save him from the sanitarium, but then he would know my secret. And he would be out and about, and people would, and then like, also I could get in trouble for saving him from the sanitarium, I guess.
Right.
But the alternative is letting one of your best friends, if not your best friend, rot in a sanitarium when he's not crazy. You know he's been drugged into insanity.
Right.
And his fucking dad, Johnny K. This is a dark Johnny K episode. Johnny K says to him this sentence: "I'm not saying you should put your secret above Lex's well-being. I just think you should stay out of this." Sounds like you are saying put your secret above Lex's well-being.
I'm not saying literally what I'm about to say, but yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe this solves a couple problems.
Arizona in chat asks, why doesn't even his good buddy Pete do the dirty work for him like usual?
Pete, help me break into this mental institution. You can be the lookout for the cops.
Okay. Meanwhile, Lana is working out with her physical therapist. It's been a month since her accident, but her femur was broken in 4 places, and she hasn't been able to walk without crutches. Another patient, Adam Knight, gives her a hard time for not pushing herself harder, accusing her of feeling sorry for herself. Adam Knight, that is a previous Freak of the Week, right? Am I crazy?
No,
he's not.
He's a future freak. No, he's so he's played by Ian Somerhalder.
Yes.
Who was I know as Boone from Lost, but most other humans know him as the guy from Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. Son of a bitch, he is not a I thought he was also a bad boy.
A what? Oh,
I don't know why I'm like future remembering.
Well, he becomes a bad guy eventually.
God, I don't know.
You might be doing that.
I also watched a couple of episodes like before we started doing the show. I like watched some mid episodes and maybe I blended those together, you know.
But so he's played by Ian Somerhalder, another like early 20s beefcake at that point. My last girlfriend was a big fan of his in Vampire Diaries. Huge Vampire Diaries head, or whatever they call those fans. So what I remember when this guy was introduced, he's got kind of a mysterious background. He saved his parents. He tried to save his parents from a fire, and he's got mysterious injuries. Fans thought, or maybe were just hoping, that this was secretly them introducing Bruce Wayne to the show. Because it is like a 6-episode arc or something, and it's like a very mysterious background, and he's dark and brooding. But I remember that was a thing.
We were so desperate for it at the just anything.
Give us Batman.
I mean, I remember getting into the show in college and just wanting Batman so fucking bad on it. Like, so I get it where it's coming from. Of like, can this be Batman?
Honestly, I feel like today, even if they did Smallville, they still might not let him have Batman in there.
No,
because like I know they're integrating everything else in the DC like TV stuff, but Batman seems like he's movies.
Right. It's
we're not going to fuck up our movie mojo with Batman so he can be on your TV shit.
I mean, they haven't put him in like Superman and Lois is still running, you know, and there's no signs of Batman coming in.
Well, and there's lots of like Gotham type stuff on TV, but no Batman.
Yeah. All
like,
true.
You cannot, unless it's animated, then you can have Batman, but no live action Batman. That is movies only.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't hate it.
No, I mean, we get Green Arrow instead of Batman, and he turns out to be a really fun character on the show.
Agreed.
So last thing, this scene, this Ian Somerhalder, what's his name? Not Batman, Adam Knight.
Yes.
He is like trying to like give Lana tough love. He doesn't even know her.
Right.
But he's like, hey, girl who is hurt, try harder.
This is a common trope. Yeah.
He's trying to convince this 16-year-old girl to try harder. So he drops this fucking line on her. If we all sat down every time it hurt, this country never would have been built.
Wow.
Weird line to use on a 16-year-old girl. She's like, you're right. I'm not being patriotic enough. Like, and also, like, what did this motherfucker do? Was he like
where
building
do you
the
get
Golden
off,
Gate Bridge?
bud?
Like,
You're not even Batman. think if you were Batman and you came in here.
Exactly. Yeah. If you were Batman, then you have some street cred, but
I also
you're
like
definitely not.
Arizona says bring Lego Batman into Smallville, and I would honestly any superhero show that just also Lego Batman was there.
Ooh, Brian.
Yes.
I think that's it. I think we just solved it. When Smallville comes back as season 11, it will be a cartoon.
There you go. Can
will they let them have Batman in the cartoon? They have to, right?
They have to.
It's a cartoon. They could get away with it. It's a cartoon.
And like you're gonna want to like bump up excitement for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get it, Brian.
We're gonna get it. Man, do you think season 11's not a done deal as far as we know. It's not formally announced. Part of doing Talkville is definitely
1,000%. I think that is not part. I think that's the reason they're doing
drum up Smallville interest
again.
Be
look at how much interest is out there.
Right.
For the cartoon. That's got to be it.
Gotta be it. That's a smart move. I don't know how it's working. We'll like never see the numbers, but I'm curious.
Whatever you got to do to get me season 11, man, let's go. Do it.
Yes. I want it so bad. Because we've never been disappointed by something coming back later. There's been no.
I'm not worried about quality, Brian. I want to extend our own show. So, what did we do about 2 seasons a year on our recap?
Yeah.
Right. So we're in 3. They have like 3.5, 4 years to get their shit together before we are going to need more episodes of this show.
Right.
So,
all right. The gauntlet has been thrown. Back at Belle Reve, Lionel has come to visit Lex, who is now being held in restraints. Sort of just like a stupid iron lung.
They have him a fucking Hannibal Lecter, like the Hannibal Lecter cage because he escaped once. Maybe don't leave him alone in a glass room.
I don't even think prison does that bad.
Yeah, that's like Spanish Inquisition shit they've got him on. He's literally laying on his back on the metal fucking slab with a cage over him and just sitting there. And he is in that position for the remainder of the episode.
Yeah, it's a lot of face acting for Mr. Rosenbaum today. Lex tries to convince Lionel that he doesn't need his medications. He pretends that the story about Lionel killing his parents was a paranoid delusion, but then he gives himself away by saying that Lionel's only interest is to stay out of prison. The meeting ends with Lex raging against his restraints. Lionel goes to Dr. Foster. He is unhappy that his son has been in Belle Reve for an entire month with no results. He pushes her to perform a dangerous experimental procedure, despite the fact that it is successful less than 50% of the time, and the majority of patients are left with irreparable brain damage. This is a good Lionel episode.
Lionel is pure evil at this point.
Yeah.
This might be his peak of evil. Like, he's going to stay at the peak for the rest of the season, but he's pure evil.
I think Lionel operates on his own kind of internal logic, but it is an internal logic of evil.
Right, yeah, no, he's protecting Lex because if he doesn't erase his memory, he has to kill him.
So it's kind of sweet in a way.
Yeah, I'm protecting you, Lex. I have to do this for your own good. Otherwise, I have to kill you. I have a serious question. If Clark, at this point, since Lionel's pure evil, if Clark kills Lionel, does Lex Luthor become a supervillain? At this point.
You mean right now? Just like...
Yes. Right, yes.
I don't know.
I don't think so, Brian.
My ultimate thing is I think Clark could let Lex in on everything. I guess that's an unrelated question to like letting Lex know the super.
Right. Yes. So let's say he doesn't tell him. Somehow he manages. See, that's hard because because he knows his secret. So he killed Lionel.
Right. So at this point, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I really think this is a huge turning point for this show because I think this is this is Clark's last chance to tell Lex and save him as far as him not becoming a supervillain. This is it. Like after this, oh, 3:45. Sorry. After this, I think I'm on your side where it's like, once you've let a guy think he was crazy, like if Clark after this, if Clark's like, hey, I have powers, Lex is gonna be like, yeah, what about the time I was in the mental institution and you let me think I was fucking insane?
Yeah, I don't know.
So this is the turning point. I think up until this point, if he tells him, there's a good chance he doesn't become a supervillain. And I think after this point, it's too late, buddy. You fucked up.
My continued issue with Lex and Lex finding out about Clark is I think there's a universe where Clark tells Lex and Lex is like, cool, bud. I don't know if Lex is innately possible of having essentially access to that power and not doing bad with it. Not intentionally bad, maybe, but I think power corrupts, and I think it's,
look, I'm not saying he would be Mother Teresa. I'm just saying, like, he's an evil supervillain by the end of the show. And, like, I think Lionel and Clark are largely responsible for that. And I think if Clark had behaved differently up until this point, we could have avoided that.
I guess
my argument.
I guess my counter argument is, and we'll never know. We've never seen this what if. But like if you were to let him know, would possibly Clark as Superman not come to be the way we understand
right.
Superman?
That's a different question. That's interesting. And because I don't think Lex, if he knew, would betray Clark intentionally. So he's not like telling anyone about the secret.
Right.
So what bad comes from it? Just like him trying to influence Clark to use his powers in a certain way.
I wonder if some element of like, we can do this, or like I could duplicate, or we could like study this and like duplicate that.
Yeah. But I think Lex's argument, and I think he makes this later in the show when he finally does learn, is like, we could have accomplished so much. I'm a billionaire and you have superpowers.
Right. Right.
Like, and if we're both good, we could accomplish a lot of good.
So kill Lionel.
Up until this point, I think Lex is pretty firmly in the good.
Yeah.
He's got dark parts because he's being fucked with by his father and gaslit by his best friend, but he's more good than bad. And then after this, he's struggling. And I don't blame him.
By the time Michael Rosenbaum leaves Smallville as a main cast member, I think we need to come to a full official conclusion.
But how, if we disagree, what are we going to do?
Okay. Maybe what we need to do, I think I have a couple of years to figure this out. We will both maybe present our arguments.
Yes,
and then
right.
we have a formal vote, and then that is
Excellent.
just we accept the results.
I am going to compile
yeah.
notes. Great.
We'll do a full court presentation special. We'll have a moderator.
Yes, Emily will be the judge.
Emily, I think, would rather die.
I know, but she has made a deal with us to appear on one episode per season of the show.
That is true. She
had no I get to choose which one, anything. We get to choose, I think, was the agreement. By the way, are you still zeroing in on the episode with the girl who
I think so. I really like that one.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Okay, so Chloe finds Clark at the Smallville Torch office doing research to try and prove that Lex doesn't belong in Belle Reve. He can't find anything conclusive, but he discovers that Lex has been recommended for radical electroshock therapy in 24 hours. They learn that Dr. Foster's last patient to receive the treatment is in a permanent vegetative state. They corner Dr. Foster at Metropolis General with this news and accuse her of drugging Lex to make him delusional. They warn her that she will be in great danger from Lionel if Lex becomes a vegetable, and they beg her not to perform electroshock therapy on Lex. I'm going to say, this doctor, this professional doctor, corrupt as she may be, compromised as she may be, sure is like giving these teenagers more of an audience than would ever happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this person who has broken their oath for a dollar sign in the worst possible way is like prepared to electrocute someone who doesn't need any sort of treatment. And she's just been waiting for 2 16-year-olds to come give her a guilt trip
from their school newspaper
to change her fucking mind. And she does. They visit her and she's like, yeah, you're right.
Man, I didn't think about it that way.
I better call this off.
She's sitting there in that office like, I swear to God, if 2 teenagers... I need a sign. And I need a sign right now. Clark and Chloe. Arizona
God.
says in chat, all caps, can you imagine going to medical school, working at a rich-ass hospital just to be lectured by sophomores in high school?
You know what would be worse is like, they're right.
Yep.
You're like, oh, fuck, these sophomores in high school.
Oh, when a kid gets you.
Yeah. And they do sometimes because kids see right through bullshit.
Uh-huh.
They're like, wait, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
God damn it.
You're like, just shut the fuck up.
Okay, so meanwhile, Ian and Eric, these are the villains.
This is the infamous Ku Klux Van scene.
Meanwhile, Ian and Eric approach Van and offer to break him out if he tells them what Clark's weakness is. The plan is for Eric to leech Clark's powers again. Van pays a guard to smuggle in a meteor rock. So access to money, I guess.
Everyone in the medical profession in Smallville is just like pure evil. Or incompetent in working at Smallville Medical.
Right. When he discovers that it has arrived, Ian splits himself in 2 and kills Van. He approaches Lex, still in his restraints, to cut a deal. He offers to break Lex out if he helps fund their new lives on the other side. Lex refuses. He hasn't forgiven Ian for trying to kill Lana and Chloe as part of her scheme to secure the LexCorp scholarship. Ian tries to change Lex's mind by showing him that he is on the schedule for electroshock therapy. I have a question about JTT. I don't know if it's the same, if it's different. Why is he not? Does the hospital know he's a double man freak?
Right, yes. Great question. I wrote down like in all caps, do people know about the meteor freaks or not? Because they're intentionally riding this line.
Right.
And they don't want to say because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. But like, so is he there? Because like it's a Batman Arkham Asylum thing of like, we don't know where else to put him, I guess. But like, why is he in Crazy Place and not in jail, in just regular ass jail for attempted murder?
Well, I was trying to, because he his back baby or whatever you fucking call it, that comes out, fell off the dam in the last episode.
Right.
So did they find a body for his back baby and then like, are they just like, oh, it was twins all along? And also, does he have an unlimited amount of back babies? Because this thing,
we saw him make a back baby, so I think he can keep making the back babies.
I thought it was just the one back baby that keeps going in and out. So
his power was to have a little identical freak that lives in his back.
So That's a great question, Brian, because whether they know about the back baby or not, he's not insane. He just tried to kill some people.
Right.
Same with the guy who has the superpowers, who stole superpowers from Clark.
Right.
The only one who you can make an argument is insane would be Ku Klux Van because
But even then,
because he thought there were meteor freaks out there.
right.
But don't we kind of know that there are? I don't know.
We got two chat things here from Arizona. I'm confused. Is Lex in a pediatric ward? Or why is he in a ward with only children?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. These are fucking high schoolers. I didn't even think about that. Great point, Arizona.
Arizona also says, hey, Arizona, what's your favorite episode of Talon Mix? I like the one where they say back baby for a long time.
Torture comedy, baby. Torture comedy. So, also in this scene, JTT, not the back baby, but the real JTT, is pushing a cart of books from like cell to cell, I guess. And he goes into Lex's cell, but Lex is on the metal slab in the cage. His arms are at his... He can't read a book. Why are the guards letting patients wander into this guy's cell?
This
is so fucking insane.
It's clearly this is run by the same people in charge of Smallville Medical, whether it's in Smallville or not.
It's worse than Smallville Medical. Oh man.
So at Smallville High, Clark tells Pete that Dr. Foster is going to sign the cancellation papers on Lex's procedure. Pete is worried that Lex knows Clark's secret, and Clark says he isn't willing to let Lex suffer to protect his secret. Pete tries to explain to Clark how hard it is to keep his secret. He doesn't believe that Lex can be trusted. It's actually a good scene here, and maybe setting up Pete's little exit.
Yeah, definitely setting it up. Yeah.
So Chloe.
Pete is firmly in the Brian camp.
Yes.
You can't tell this fucking guy your secret.
Right. Chloe arrives with news that Claire Foster has died in a car accident. Pete suspects Lionel, and Clark decides to break Lex out. He tears open the chain link fence, forces the door open, and begins to remove the restraints when the two Ians arrive with a meteor rock.
Hold on. We skipped over the part where they kill Ku Klux Van.
No, we got it.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. They kill Ku Klux Van. It's just JTT.
Right.
Ku Klux Van, I'm just going to keep saying it, is bench pressing a lot of weight in the gym that they have at the sanitarium where there's no one watching them. There's nobody watching them with these weights. And JTT kills him by producing a back baby and then just like pushing the weight. Both of them push the weight down on him. Why do you need a back baby for that? You can just do that yourself when someone's on weights. You can just put a little bit of pressure and you could fucking kill them.
But how would we get that back baby out there, baby? JTT is contractually obligated to spawn out at least one back baby.
He is so like greased up with his shirt off when they do those scenes. He's got like oil, serious oils.
I'm just also just throwing it out there. If you can make a back baby, back baby would be my first like step as well. Even if I didn't need to, just like it's back baby time.
Well, Brian, are there no cameras in this fucking sanitarium?
It's either... It appears to be that the state at Belle Reve is either you are in a fucking Iron Maiden, or there's just no rules.
Yeah, you're in an Iron Maiden. Patients are free to wander in and out of their cells to each other's cells, go work out in private, in the dark. It's absolutely nuts. It's nuts.
The inmates, if you will, appear to be running this asylum.
Quite literally.
Okay, so the two Ians arrive with a meteor rock. They take turns beating Clark and Lex until neither of them can get to their feet. They haul Clark out on a gurney, knowing the guards will be coming soon for Lex's procedure.
Why is this procedure, the room that it's taking place in, it's like on the set from Aliens? It really looks like it's even darker than the rest of the place, and it looks like a futuristic bunker or something.
You see, this is an experimental procedure. We need it to be as spooky as possible.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Well, the rest of the building is like a completely different architecture type than this weird Aliens room.
Right.
There's no glass.
Right. So the two Ians bring Clark to the part of the sanitarium with many high voltage connections. I love how the wiki is not even sure what fucking room this is. It's just a place where there's fucking generators, I guess. They wire up the gurney just as the guards arrive for Lex. They sedate Lex when he regains consciousness, and when he regains consciousness, he is strapped to a table with electrodes on his head. Lex is terrified, but his father is there to assure him that this is for his own good. In the voltage room, Clark is lying on the gurney incapacitated. Eric holds the meteor rock in Clark's hand while Ian throws the switch, sending electricity through the gurney and their two bodies. This makes it impossible for Lex's treatment to proceed. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So basically what they're trying to do is the same thing that happened to before, where like, oh, we'll bring in the lightning, will give me the
right. Doesn't seem like a real exact science.
Nope, it seems
just
real dangerous actually.
And we're touching each other, and there's meteor rock.
Right,
everything will go exactly how we want it to.
Yeah. And you know what? It pretty much does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it ain't a stupid plan if it works.
Except for the reason the plan fails, and I feel like you could have foreseen this if you were that dude, is that the kryptonite's still right there when you get all his powers.
Right. Should have thought about it.
You also get the weakness, which is kryptonite.
Come on, haven't you seen Aladdin?
Yes.
Eric picks up Clark and throws him across the room. Zach, I don't know if you flagged this, but this made me laugh so fucking hard. I went to YouTube and got a screen cap of this. Unfortunately, the YouTube clip that I found was not high enough definition. I'll post this in the blog when we post this episode. But the man who gets crushed into the generator is so extremely not Tom Welling. It is a entirely different man in a wig. It looks like a Saturday Night Live character of Tom Welling.
I did not catch this. I mean, it was broadcast not in HD.
No, right? That's the thing. I think it's as I watched it, it was broadcast in standard definition, and it's a quick shot. But in high def, it is a just different man.
That's amazing.
It's kind of crazy that like, you could just show, like, they showed his face, but like, who would have thought? This wasn't supposed to happen.
No, that's amazing. They would just CGI his face on there,
right? Or just turn him over,
right?
Slightly move his face another way. But they actually talk about doing stunts on Talkville. And I thought that was interesting.
We're getting good insights from the guys.
What I thought was interesting was them talking about how, like, especially that first season, like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna let the stunt people do their fucking job, man.
Yeah, exactly. They learned.
You can go home.
Oh wait. Yeah, exactly. Also, the stunt they were saying the stunt guy doesn't get paid unless he does the stunt.
Right.
So you're fucking him over if you are like, I'll do it.
Right. Tom.
By the way, that shot. Clark is now a normal human at this point when he gets thrown into that generator.
I'm right.
He's dead, right? Or he's paralyzed.
Yeah.
How does he get up from that?
Would absolutely just be the end. No, I'm going home. No, you're good. You won. I'm just going to wait here.
Dead. No, he's dead.
Actually, this works out. You can run off. I can go smooch Lana because, like, that's getting precarious. Yeah. I'm about to miss out on that.
Oh.
The standards, it's just a concussion.
Actually, there was a concussion earlier that I didn't flag. I'm pretty sure when Lex escapes in the teaser, I think he knocks out the guard.
Oh, okay, great.
I will go back and officially find out before I make a tally mark.
We'll audit.
But I believe
Great.
that was.
We'll
audit. Yep, this is important.
So, Eric beats Clark up until Ian complains that they need to leave before the guards notice they are gone. Eric is in no hurry and throws Ian across the room, but Clark has found the meteor rock and attempts to take his powers back, Aladdin style. He grabs Eric and backs him into an electrical box without letting go of him or the meteor rock. As his powers are restored, once again, extremely dangerous. He throws a switch which cuts off power to the box, but unfortunately, this made me laugh out loud. Restores power to the machine Lex is attached to.
Yeah.
I have a question here, and Lex does an electrical shock performance that can be described. Zach's approximation of it was quite accurate. Now, here's a question we may never know the answer to until Talkville gets to it. That thrashing he does, they do a wider shot of it, and you do not see his face. Do you think that's a stunt? Could that have been a stunt?
I think probably, yeah.
It's a pretty intense amount of flailing, actually.
I would hurt myself doing that. Yeah,
right.
I hurt myself when I go, like, someone says my name too far to the left. Right. And I'm like, huh? Ah!
Especially,
you'll get there, Arizona. You'll get there.
Especially if you like have to do it a couple of times, like
right, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think that's probably a stunt.
We'll have to ask when we get.
That's great. Yeah, we should start writing down the questions for when they get to season 3.
Yes. After powers are restored, he throws the switch, cuts off power to the box, but unfortunately restores power to the machine Lex is attached to. And we get a Lionel like again.
Yeah. And the doctor's like, well, the power just went out. We should probably wait.
Again.
Lex is like, I'm feeling lucky. Or Lionel. Yeah. Let's roll the dice.
Clark throws away the meteor rock and rushes to Lex, but he is too late. The treatment has been completed. Meanwhile, Lana begins to do extra therapy sessions on her own when Adam comes in just in time to pick her up off the floor. She continues to make fast progress in her therapy with Adam and actually walks a few steps without crutches. Martha arrives to drive her home and tries to put in a good word for Clark. I was... Like, you know how anytime your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend was maybe a little mad at you and your mom swooped in and was like, hey, let me read it. That always worked great for me. I don't know about you.
I feel like most moms would rather die than do something like that.
Seriously.
Like the last thing a parent wants to do is get involved in their child's love life.
I think the last thing a parent generally wants to do is talk to a teenager they're not related to.
They don't have to talk to you, yeah.
And in fact, it would be weird to do anything else. Later, Adam is in the hospital for hydration therapy, and Lana comes to visit with desserts from the Talon. She has graduated from crutches and can now walk using only a cane, which the wonderful Kristen Crook milks. She is acting with that cane.
Kevin Costner style, capital A.
That reminds me of no real spoilers, but the end of this season of Stranger Things, Dustin has a bit of a limp, and like because he gets an injury, and in the post-mortem, like a kind of postscript scene, he's shown with a very dramatic limp. And honestly, if they didn't do the limp, I would have forgotten about it, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. But he super did the limp, and he's super acting the limp.
I can't wait.
You can see it in this child teenage actor's face. The limp is the forefront thing on the mind. And it's like, man, I feel like whoever was directing that episode, which I believe was the Duffer Brothers, should have seen that and like, let's do another one without the limp.
Yeah, let's do maybe not the limp.
You could have just axed it, I think. So when Clark visits Lex at the mansion, he obviously has no memory of anything that happened there or why he was sent there. He doesn't remember seeing Clark use his powers, and he doesn't remember uncovering Lionel's part in the conspiracy to kill his grandparents. I thought this was hilarious in that Lex is now just fully functional again. Which is, now granted, they did seed it. I picked it up from the wiki that it said like it's an experimental thing.
Right, it's science fiction.
Because electrocuting a person does not do that.
Right, I like that their like futuristic treatment is something that they did 100 years ago and didn't work.
Yeah,
like,
it still mostly just fried you. Because it turns out that level of electricity to your brain is bad for you. Has no medicinal benefits.
I don't understand here. Clark could still just tell him. Like, not without telling him about his powers. Because now he forgets his powers. And Clark could be like, hey, Lionel drugged you. You weren't insane.
Right.
He fucked you up.
Right.
But Clark's like, nah.
You know, I
don't want to open that can of worms.
Here's the thing, man. That's a can of fucking worms, though. It's like, where do you start?
Boo, Brian.
Where do you start?
That is a morally bankrupt decision that was made.
What if he seems happier, maybe? I don't know. Ignorance is kind of... I don't know. Let me put it this way. That is a nuanced decision for a 16-year-old to have to make. I know Tom Welling looks 34 years old.
I'm disappointed in all the Kents. The Kent family failed us in this episode. They created a supervillain.
Who's mostly gonna do shady real estate, I think. I think that's most of Lex Luthor's thing. Clark decides not to tell him the truth. When he tells his parents, Jonathan is happy that Clark's secret is safe, but all Clark can think about is that Lionel got away with murder. Jonathan makes it clear that he does not want Clark going after Lionel. Please, Clark, drop this storyline. Clark wishes that he could erase the last few months of his life, and Martha encourages him to go to Lana's welcome home party at the Talon. He goes. We get a great needle drop.
Oh, man.
A lot of our audience might be too young for Stained.
Right, but we could call this contest right now, I think. It's
a good one.
This is front runner for Needle Drop of the Year, because not only is it a really good song, like a classic hit song,
yeah,
but it is perfectly on brand for Smallville.
It's Stained was in that like perfect 2000s like butt rock nu metal genre, but they're on like the sad boy side of nu metal.
Right.
It's a great song, but like it has all of the ingredients of a terrible song. It's one of those like
yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's in a genre I don't really appreciate, but I love that song.
It's in a genre we've all accepted is bad. Like,
yes.
It was bad, and anyone who liked it, myself, was dumb.
It's a pretty decent needle drop too in this episode.
Great needle drop.
Yeah.
So Clark locks eyes with Lana across the Talon, and Lana kind of cold shoulders him. It's a sad cold. Yeah, well, yeah.
Ice cold, Brian.
I think it's a sad thing, though.
Right, but she's like, yeah, I'm not coming over.
Yeah, it's a full confirm, and then she
did
just
tell
goes
him
to
to stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
She did tell him to stay the fuck away.
Yeah. My mom told me to come. I wasn't gonna go. It's a good scene. It's a great scene, actually, I think. I love that shit, man. I don't remember how this resolves. I don't remember how. I'm sure it'll just be a line of dialogue later, but yeah,
I'll let you relearn that. I vaguely remember.
It's funny, the writing on a show like this of like, okay, we're mostly getting it back to status quo, but not quite. We're still juggling this Lana storyline a little bit. Like, all right, we're putting these other ones away. We'll keep this one in the air.
Well, actually, the electroshock thing and the Lionel thing, I think is a big part of the rest of the season.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. It's not over.
Got it. Oh, really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess I spoke too soon. Meanwhile, Lionel is reviewing tape from Clark's visit to Lex. He is dismayed to realize that Lex knew Clark's secret, but the shock therapy has made him forget.
Thwarted, Lionel. Thwarted.
Let's see. We got music this week. We've got Future Proof from Massive Attack. I know the band name Massive Attack. I don't remember that song. I don't even remember it in this episode. Must have been early. And then, of course, So Far Away by Stained, which is a good, bad song.
Just a good song, Brian. Don't even.
You're right, man. An asylum is a hospital specializing in the treatment of serious mental disorders. So I don't know why this episode was called Asylum, because that's not what they were doing there.
No, it was a weird, futuristic, dystopian, like commune.
Okay, doing a quick browse here of trying to see what. Oh no, I have here something of the. There is a hidden Nietzsche shot, and it is Lex's painting. He's using red, blue, and yellow.
Oh, great! I mean, those are the important colors.
Yep, you're right. You're right, Smallville. Those are the colors. This is the third time Clark has lost his powers in the show. Okay. It is shown in Volume 2 of the Chloe Chronicles. We're going to have to, at some point, watch all of the Chloe Chronicles.
I think Arizona's right. Does that count as an Ichi line?
We just flag them. We don't keep track of them, right?
Right, I know. But, I mean, does that even really...
Yeah,
it's borderline.
It's borderline. I'd give it an eh.
Do you think the people making the scene were like, we have to pick these three colors? Or was it... Those are the fucking primary colors.
That's also true. I think it's entirely...
Those are primary colors.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Three.
I think it is entirely possible that, like, what paint do we give? Art department that was probably art department's call,
Right. That's true.
Art department could have just been like, oh, that was my idea. Okay,
yes, we need to watch the Chloe Chronicle. I think I have the Chloe
I think they're on the DVDs. I can only imagine that's where they were.
Probably on YouTube, right?
Yeah, definitely.
If we ever do a Patreon, that would be our bonus material is the Chloe Chronicles.
There we go. Lex has been in Volume 2 of the Chloe Chronicles, at the start of the episode, Lex has been in Bellerive for 4 weeks since the events have shattered, contemplating all that he learned about Clark. That wasn't even that interesting. Let's see here. Oh, after Lex is electrocuted, the doctor removes the mouth guard from Lex's mouth. Yet after Clark is shown, it is back in Lex's mouth. Gotcha, Smallville.
You thought you got away with it, you sons of
nice
bitches.
Try. I guess that's everything. Oh, here's a stretch. Here's a stretch of the wiki. When Lionel Luthor is talking to Lex before the electroshock, he says that if it were gangrene, they could just amputate. A reference for Lex's cancer in his hand in the comics.
No, it's not.
Stretch. Sometimes I think people are just trying to say a thing they know about the comics.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. How do I tell people I know?
I know, anonymously in a wiki. State Arizona says in chat, the sky is blue and the sun is yellow, just like Superman. The world is a Nietzsche line, buddy.
God planned that as a reference to Superman. You clever man.
So that was Smallville. let's see, what's next? What episode is next? Next week we have Whisper. I do not remember this episode.
Oh,
at
is this
all.
where Clark gets his super hearing?
Oh, new power. We haven't had a new power in a little while.
No, but he doesn't get boners from it, so it's not as exciting.
No,
But I think he does go blind. I think he temporarily goes blind.
The screen cap on the next page of the wiki is Clark in sunglasses holding his ear.
Yes.
So this one's gonna be a weird one. I'm very excited.
It's a fun one. Yeah, Clark temporarily goes blind.
Hey, this has been the Talon Mix. We're a Smallville recap podcast. You know that because you just listened to the whole fucking show. If you like the show, if you want to help us out, you should head to talonmix.show. Hey, what we need are ratings and reviews on our Apple Podcast page. That would really help us and maybe grow this thing that we're really proud of and we have a really fun time with. We're also on Twitter at TalonMixPod. Also at talonmix.show, you can find a link to our Discord. That's where everybody hangs out. We make jokes about Smallville and stuff. It's a really good time, and I hope you'll check it out.
Brian, I'm totally down for this suggestion by Electric Gauntlet.
What is
I
that?
want a quiz that's like, is this in the wiki or was it written by Arizona?
Oh man, that's good.
We could play that game live on the air. That would be fun.
That's great. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
Although the state of Arizona says I'm going to edit next week's wiki. Shit, that's a good.
It'll be like Zach is really old on the wiki.
Okay. No, wait, I can't. It would have to be the phrasing because we would know if something wasn't in the episode, right?
Right. No, but she could just make some bizarre stretch argument about some connection to the comic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We would have to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I like that a lot. Zach, anything else we got to go over? I don't think so.
No, I think that's good. I think this was a fun one.
Super fun one.
Fun time at the sanitarium. Ku Klux Van, back baby.
Back baby.
Back baby.
Hey, say hello. Give our regards to your back baby.
I'm really sad that we just came up with back baby and now he's dead on the show. He's not coming back.
He's not
coming
coming
back, baby.
There's always season 11.
Yes, back baby returns.
How do we get JTT on this show and just ask him questions about back baby and how back baby works?
See, because maybe he survived, because maybe if he can create an infinite number of back babies, maybe he created a back baby.
Dude, did that work out? Yeah. There's no reason why that
both
would
back
work.
babies died.
Hey.
But here's another question. Can the back baby create a back baby, or is it just the original JTT that can create back babies?
I don't know. That would
wait, is this is our call Talkville question for when they get to the back baby episode.
I'm looking up currently, is Jonathan Taylor Thomas on Cameo, and can we pay for him to say the words back baby like just 30 times? And that
his rates are probably way too high on Cameo.
What if we started a Patreon, but it was just to fund enough to get a video of Jonathan Taylor Thomas saying back baby, back baby, back baby, back baby. And then we open it, we replace the intro of the podcast. That is the new intro of the podcast.
But you have to have like the sound effects of the back baby coming out too. Like
yes.
The growth.
Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
Yeah, is Brian totally wrong about the whole Clark telling Lex thing?
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.